And then I pulled off my mask, and I was a lizard person too.
No!
Ah.
No! Absolutely not! We do not do that!
Wait, hold on, I
Wait,
missed.
were we live
Who's-
for that bit?
That
Were
was.
we live for that bit? I
It
am
was-
disappointed.
I think
Oh,
so.
wow.
Totally well
God
timed.
damn it.
Incredible cell job, man. I really phoned it in on that one.
I'm just seeing if. Okay, perfect. Welcome to episode 4 of the Society for No, every week. Every week. Welcome to episode 4 for the
Check out the hat. We got merch.
Welcome
We
to
have a
episode
merch.
4 of the Society for Exploration and Adventure presents the Guild. 6 months later.
Yay.
I was going to say 46 degrees off center like the logo on my hat, but I think it's probably closer to around 147 degrees off center. Roy Michaels, your GM this evening, and with me is Ben, John, Mac, and Marshall. Let's recap. Last time we met, we went through the back half of the party's time at the academy. Dominic met a nice gentleman that works for the guild in a position that of the leadership of the Haven Project, a small project to try to identify what to do when the Angel Stones run out.
Great guy. Love him.
Yes, the Shadow Man. Damien and Verity had a short-lived but heated romance that ended in not the best terms. And we finished with Alice getting a letter from home in which she found out that her mother's memory, which was already failing, has completely failed. In a moment of anger and grief, Alice destroyed all her experiments in the lab and then applied the paste to a cut in her forehead.
Rage alchemy.
Rage alchemy.
Oh, that's what that is? Wow.
Fix that a little bit. And then the party said goodbye. Off for 6 months of their apprenticeship in the field, where they learned how to be a real adventurer in practice, not just in theory. Now, 6 months later, we open on Borum coming through a portal with the journeyman he was assigned to, back to the Citadel. How has Borum changed in his time away?
I would say that the simplest way of describing it is basically just more self-confidence in himself and what he's doing.
Awesome. And what has Borum ended up choosing as his specialty?
Cleric is the simplest way of saying it in metagame sense. So, focusing on the, healing aspects of and assisting others through, the
Divine
spellcasting,
magic.
divino magic style stuff, and then with a focus on animal domain and then the artifice domain, more specifically alchemy. So, in a meta sense, basically, he gets potions that he can hand out, and he can talk to animals.
No way that he shared a room with Alice for any length of time, right? Having been out in the wider world, the Citadel seems both bigger and smaller than you remember it. It's still the largest city in the world, but coming through the portal now, you remember back your first day here at the Academy, and how big and wonderful everything seemed. And now, 7 years at the Academy, then 6 months in the field, ready to be an adventurer's guild apprentice, assigned to a town. It's home, but it's got everything that comes with being home, and the familiarity involved. You guys make your way from the portal park, and you check in now, not into Underhill where the Academy is, but into the quarters for an unsworn apprentice, which is essentially like a big dorm-like building where this time of year they use it for apprentices who have finished their 6-month field time but haven't sworn to the guild. The rest of the year it'll be used for adventurers who come in from one of the towns they're assigned to and need to spend the night at the Citadel for whatever reason. So just a temporary assignment or quarters. But it's a fairly nice room. Think of it like a hotel room. A bed, a small desk, chamber pot, basin to wash up in. Over the next day, everyone but Damien makes it back. First Dominic, then Alice, and then Verity at the end. Doubtless held up for some scheme or another. That night, you guys meet up at the Lost Greenhorn. This is tradition, where all the unsworn apprentices meet. So it is crowded, but you're able to find a table. Strangely, this one too is Duke marked in it, but you don't see him.
Guys, seriously, why do we always have to take his table? Like,
I think
how do you do this? How do you find this?
I think it's like he thinks that every table is his. He just goes around the world marking tables.
I mean, what was his what was his skill he was working on? I mean, maybe he was in the woodwork and he just likes putting it in everywhere.
He's really fascinated with tables.
Maybe he'll make a good carpenter someday.
Yeah,
I mean, who knows?
what
He
was
could be
Duke?
very good Excel champion, so.
Yes. Duke. What was Duke?
He was like a couple of years older than us. I mean, by now he would be done with his vicarage, wouldn't he?
Yes. Duke was a nature domain cleric with the wood subdomain. And an archetype that only gave him one domain.
That's right. He never wore shoes. He was one of those, I don't wear shoes so I can feel closer to the planet kind of guys.
But
I
then
remember
when he
thinking that was
he
weird.
only wore clogs.
Yes. Weird fellow.
Admittedly, he did know how to work the clogs. Like, the confidence carried that entirely.
Yeah.
You think it's because they were wood too?
Yeah, it's all coming together. Either way, Borum, you're right. I don't know how this keeps happening. We just keep. It's like we just there's like a Duke table seeking spell on us.
Alice, how have you changed in the 6 months away?
So personality-wise, not too much. Alice was accompanying a rather incompetent wizard, and so this has not really changed her perception that magic is a crutch for some people. But it did give her some experience by helping him organize his spell book every so often. So she now has a better appreciation of what it can do and what she can get out of it. I think the biggest change would be the physical one, because in the last 6 months, that fungal medley that she had applied to her self that one night has quite literally mushroomed into a large cream-colored death cap mushroom that is now ingrained on top of her head. Like a big, wide-brimmed cap.
Would we be able to tell that it's a hat and not literally like
That's
growing
good.
out of her head?
Alice, I like your hat.
Oh, so that is very nice. It is actually not a hat. It is actually attached to my brainstem.
What?
Yeah, that doesn't seem like a very
Should it be?
good
Yes.
choice.
I
I feel like
mean-
you should get that taken care of.
Well,
Did-
I guess the caveat
You-
would be
you-
like, you've always kind of trusted the mushrooms a
Did
lot.
this happen
You know, I've
on
learned
accident?
a lot of healing things. You want me to?
Oh no! This is not. This
I
is
can
not
take a look at it.
This is not a bad
Yeah.
thing. This is
Borum
part of
has
it.
stuff.
It is how we say how it's my thesis. Maybe is the best way to be putting this.
You're still
so-
doing homework?
I mean, we're always doing work, and sometimes I work from home, and so there's homework.
I'm not.
We have to. Learning is lifelong.
Oh yeah, for sure. But like you're like you grew a thing on your head for school. That's really, I mean, that's dedication. That's something I've always loved about you, Alice. You're the most dedicated person I've ever met to people, to their work, to everything.
So this is very nice.
Fashion-wise, I mean, it is a good look for you. Like,
It's a
you look
statement.
fantastic.
Yeah, I'm thinking I am setting a trend, but it is maybe not something that everyone will want to do. It's a bit more of a procedure than the tattoos.
Please feel free to say no.
Tat-
Can I touch
tattoos
it?
break the skin.
Okay.
What did you do, Alice?
Can, like this, it's totally chill if you say no. Can I?
Well,
can I
I
touch
mean,
it? I
yes,
really
you can
want
touch the mushroom, but I would not then lick your finger. Maybe that is maybe not a good idea.
maybe
I'm
later.
Kidding.
'cause,
I'm kidding. It is fine.
I'm pretty hungry. So, what does it feel like as I rub your mushroom head?
Like a mushroom?
I hadn't prepared these notes. It feels like a single
I'm
going
trying
down
to be
your
really
spine.
delicate.
You know, like you get a shiver down your spine when
Uh-huh.
something's afoot. Like,
Trying to be really delicate as to not like puncture it somehow.
And it just stays on there.
yeah, and it grows very quickly. It seems to have reached its shape now.
Smells good.
Is it difficult to like sleep in it at all?
You would think so, but then you could either get like a little neck pillow, which I am using, or sometimes it's also kind of squishy, and then I can just like squish down. And, it's
I
not
mean,
so bad.
again,
So-
this doesn't
so
seem
it's
like
like-
a good idea.
A built-in pillow to your head, and then like, what does it other
Yeah.
than just general like being a mushroom? If it's like attached to you,
Yeah.
there's gotta be like a function to
Like,
it.
what is the thesis trying to prove? And if you're done when you finish, will it go away, or is that just like your head now?
So these are questions that will pan out in further
Oh,
experimentation.
oh,
But
cool.
it is so the way that these kind of mushrooms work is they have a mycorrhizal connection, so they connect
I don't
to
know.
the
I don't know.
they form a mutual relationship with
Oh.
the roots of the trees, and so then they give and take the nutrients in water and help that stuff, and so it is actually quite beneficial. The experiment is to see how beneficial it can be for the body as a kind of root system, like all the sort of nerves as a sort of root system, and seeing if the
So-
mushrooms can enhance that.
So, like on a neurological scale, and seeing how it interacts with sentience rather than non-sentient organic materials.
Yeah, genau. So that's exactly right. And so I have this little sort of catalyst, this called a cornetogen. It's sort of like a mutagen, but for the mind. And so you drink that, and then it activates a lot of sort of like a fertilizer for the mushroom, and then it really kind of starts to enhance the brain power. Sometimes it makes you think clearly, it makes you think sharply.
Oh, so like go juice.
Yeah, it's
Wait.
like old
Okay.
juice.
So like, wait. So like, you can do like what I do with my body, but like with your brain.
Yeah, and potions and stuff. You feed it, and then it goes.
brain grows
and it gets
muscles?
an
Well, I mean,
explosion.
if it's part of you, isn't it not you? Isn't it's you?
Your brain. Can you flex your brain?
It is. I mean, it is sort of a question of like all of the little things in your stomach and in your eyebrows and all these little things that you can see with enough like glasses and stuff. Are they part of you or are they not? Because if they're helping you eat the food and stuff, are they
Well,
part of
yeah,
you?
but like those things generally aren't like literally connected to you. The way you phrased it, like it's rooted in your brainstem, makes it physically connected and interfacing with you. So, like from there, what I'm curious is, like, do you consider it like, do you consider the mushroom you, or do you consider the mushroom more of a tool?
Um, I am thinking it is more of a tour right now, but because I've only had it growing for the past 6 months, so but maybe if I am looking in the mirror in a little while, then I'm thinking it is part of me. I'm already very used to it in my body, so maybe it is a part of me. That is a philosophical question that I have not entirely cognized.
I mean, yeah, like that's something we can always continue discussing. Cause
You see Dominic off to the side trying to like flex his brain, just like straining, like trying to like.
Those
I
you're
don't,
good.
Dom,
I
you
don't-
look, you're
I-
starting to look constipated.
I don't think it's
Give
working.
that pretzel.
I don't think it works the same.
How has Dominic changed in the last 6 months?
Oh boy. So when you last saw him, he was like, just starting with physical. When you last saw him, he was like a cool like 6'8", like maybe like 180, 200. Now he is a full-fledged like 7 foot, 285. So he's like towering over everything. Hair like long, like shoulder, like down to like kind of the collarbone, like golden blonde. Just beyond jacked, but is like has this new demeanor of being. While there is some of that kind of like sea strike dumbassery still in there, he is different in that he has become extremely zen, and has started practicing tai chi, meditates all the time, and like has fully learned to harness the anger and rage that's like coursing through his literal veins, um, to a way where he can activate it without having to be triggered by anything causing that anger. Like he can activate it at will, and the meditation helps with that. But like, of course, something here or there might send it flying off the handle out of nowhere, especially if Damien is ever in trouble. But for this purpose, he's just like more like soft spoken and just like voices a lot lower, and just kind of has like a calm, like statue presence about him, and it's just like really kind. As far as like how he's changed in those 6 months, like what happened, a lot of, training, a lot of fighting, a lot of just like protecting some nondescript village. But in the one of the nondescript villages, he met this person named Annie, and fully head over heels, heels over 7 foot head, fell in love and had a whirlwind like Notebook, La La Land esque romance. Like we're talking like spinning around in the middle of the street, and like her parents were like, "You're not dating a guild member. It's the last thing I do." And we were just so deeply, madly in love. And like to this day, like I'm convinced that I will never love anyone that much. And the day and this is just between the players, but I was this close to leaving the guild for her, and I decided to fulfill my responsibilities, and the departure day was rough, and he's still not over it, but he's kind of keeping that part of it.
Is he
You can tell, but it's like it's there.
is
But
he
you can
more
tell, but he's
over
trying to
it
hide it.
or less over it than Damien?
I'd say more over it in like an acceptance way, but like not over it in like the pain is still very fresh. It's in a much more like adult way, I would say. It's in a much more like we had like a real like 4 to 5 or probably like 5 and 7/8 month long kind of summer romance, and to the point where by month 3 you're like, we're gonna run away together, and it's like the whole thing. And to know that like circumstantially it just can't work out is the most devastating. But yeah, and that's what I would say is the biggest thing. And the other minor things, he has this giant sword that is taller than probably all 3 of you combined.
Oh yeah, because I
specifically
helped
you 3.
so much.
Like just I mean it does. It's it is a mechanically an oversized bastard sword. But it's just like one of those giant like fuck off anime swords. Like just like, and but it's like no big deal, he's just chilling. And yeah, I would say those are the biggest difference. And then is also, and in this very moment, like very concerned of like where the hell is Damien.
So what you're saying is that Dominic at 17 got his first girlfriend, and like all 17-year-olds thought they were going to get married.
I would say at this point, well, like that's a question. What exact age are we roughly like on this day?
17.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yes, exactly. Yes, was like the first like serious relationship where you're like, this is it.
Yeah, somewhere between 17 and 19, because Alice has been there a year
Yeah.
longer than you guys, but in general. All right, and Verity, what has Heim done for the queen of the academy?
I think she looks tired and kind of worn out. And that their apprenticeship did not go as well as they had expected. Like, all the academic part of it went fine, but the issue came from where there was an inkling there would be an issue, and that was with Perdite, Verity's shadow. Because Verity would be traveling with their instructor, and they would be trying to like do what they were supposed to do and help people out, but like people after a while start noticing Perdite and be like, what the fuck? And I think Perdite didn't really like all the change either, so was constantly like pestering Verity about, I wanna go back.
I miss the partisan.
Fine,
Great
just
one.
let me fucking sleep for once. Holy shit, I want to sleep without you running your goddamn mouth.
I don't see why you can't sleep.
Because you don't shut up. Like, you didn't have this problem there. Like, I miss them
Just
too.
ignore
But,
me.
like, you are very difficult to ignore.
I'm a shadow.
Unfortunately, you're right, but you're always with
I
me.
mean, I'm
That's
just like right behind you all the time. Like that's what a shadow's supposed to do.
But
I
you
just don't see why you
have-
can't ignore me. I ignore
Because
you
you
all the
didn't-
time.
You didn't
Yeah,
talk
but I'm
this
just saying
much
that, like.
before. You didn't talk
But I'm
this
just
much
saying.
before. I spent
I'm
a
not
lot
even
of
really talking that much.
you've been
Why
talking
are you complaining?
you've been
Why
talking
are
a
you
lot.
complaining?
You've been
Why are
talking
you
a lot more
complaining?
because you don't shut the fuck up. Oh my god, shut the fuck up.
All right, fine. I'm gonna shut the fuck up. That's what you want. I'm gonna shut the fuck up. I'm shutting the fuck up right now. Okay?
Thank
See,
you.
look, this is me shutting the fuck up. For Christ's sake.
Thank you, Penny.
How'd I get stuck
but
with
all-
this one for my whole life? I was a good shadow, and now I got stuck with this person that doesn't even appreciate having a good shadow with them.
What is this?
Go to sleep. I'm being quiet.
That involves not talking.
I'm
like
not talking.
I,
This is me not talking. You're the one talking to me.
Good night. But also, like,
Good night.
not having any choice but to become closer to Verdi. Because when Verdi tries to cast magic, Verdi functions as, like, their arcane focus / familiar sort of thing. It can't happen without Perdit's involvement.
You're goddamn right it can't.
Look, it's like knowledge, but I don't know why it works easier when you're involved.
Because I'm awesome.
I'm not denying that, but
Well, then why are you complaining so much about me?
because you never talked this much at school.
Well,
Like, you let me study, you let me sleep, and then it's a little harder now.
well, it's just the two of us now.
I know. Like,
It's not
I miss
like I
them
got a
too.
ton of other people to talk to.
Well, you couldn't talk to them before. You only understand them because you understand me.
Yeah, but it felt
they
like I was talking to them. Now, if I don't talk, you don't talk to me, and then I'm just quiet, and then I'm just gonna be there. And you know
Well,
what?
yeah,
Maybe
but,
you
like,
think it's
if
great.
I-
Maybe you
if
think
I
it's nice
start-
being a shadow, just getting drug around everywhere.
If I
But it's
started
not.
like talking, but I can't speak to you around other people because the way we have to talk to each other scares people.
Well, oh, that's my fault, I suppose. Everything's my fault. Why don't you just say it, Verity? Everything's my fault. Your life was better before I was there.
I don't remember, like, when or weren't you not there? Are we? Like my assumption is that you're functionally the same age as me. I don't know. We don't know, and that was kind of the whole reason of doing all this, was to figure this out.
Well, now all you're doing is complaining about me. I feel like you don't appreciate me.
I do appreciate
Every time you go to
Penny.
cast a spell, I'm there. Your magic's like better because of me, but you're just like, oh, Perdite just annoys me so much.
Look, hey, whatever it is, I keep our issues between us. Do I not? Do I not keep our issues between us?
Yeah, you're just going around telling everybody how tired you are, but you just couldn't sleep. But I know what you're talking about. So yeah, you're right. You're not
Well,
telling everybody what
like
our
if
issues
I,
are, but
well,
you're
like
just
I'm
telling
not
them.
gonna rat you out because also, like, if I tell people it's like, oh yeah, no, I can't sleep because my shadow's fucking yapping to me all night, they don't like that either. They get worried.
They
So
don't like
it's
it when
just
they see me.
But it'd be worse if they knew that, like, you had any sort of detrimental effect on me. If they just think I'm tired because I'm doing stupid shit, like, that's better for me and you, because they just think I'm a fucking ditz and not, like, eh.
Yeah. So the only person I can talk to is me.
Anyways, like, I mean, we're gonna be home soon, and, like, also, like, in the bar, Perdite's just kind of, like, probably moving, like, kind of, like, just, like, a happy sway,
Where's
just
the
kind of,
partisan?
like, I don't know.
Where's he at?
I don't know.
Well, you should have stuck. Maybe if you hadn't let him break up with you, like he would still be around.
Well, you know,
Maybe he's not coming
like,
back because he's so heartbroken.
I can't do
Ask
anything
Dominic.
about that.
Ask Dominic.
Okay, give me a
Are you
second.
gonna ask him?
Dom,
Dominic,
have you heard anything
Huh?
like about your brother yet?
have you heard anything about your brother yet?
No, actually. Where I thought, maybe one of you had seen him.
Oh, he's probably dead.
He's
in
not
there somewhere.
here.
No,
You
God,
should not have broken up with him.
Mom and Dad are gonna fucking kill you.
I didn't. That wasn't my choice. I gotta respect other
You
people's
pushed him
choices.
too
God
far
fucking damn.
with your whole "there's no gods" thing. Just because there's no gods doesn't mean you got to push it into his face.
I have his gown and everything.
Can we fucking argue about this later? Can we argue about that later?
Fine.
Okay, thank you.
I'm just saying you shouldn't have broken up with him.
Okay, but it happened, and it's not my fault. You haven't liked the people.
Why didn't
I
you go look
talked
for him
to.
before you left? Huh? Like, he probably left here heartbroken, and like now he's dead in a ditch, and I'm never going to talk to the partisan again.
You could talk to the partisan.
Well, yeah.
What the fuck? I didn't fucking know that.
You didn't ask.
Why would I ask? Why would I think to ask?
Because when you want information, you have to ask questions.
I do ask a lot of questions.
You don't ask that question.
Well, why would I ask that? That seems like a very
Because-
personal thing I didn't want to get in the middle of.
You're right, it was a very personal thing. He was my friend, and then you guys broke us apart.
You were friends with him?
Yeah.
You
I
know,
mean,
Verity-
he's just as nuts as Damien is because, like, he thinks that there's gods, and we know there's no gods because they all died 1,300 years ago. But
Did you? What was the nature of your relationship with the fucking partisan?
I have to. I'm sorry. I have to ask. Are me, Alice,
Yeah.
and Dominic
I'm
all
like, are
here?
we
Like, are we
watching
gone?
you whisper to yourself? Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
We're just kind of like doing this at each other, I guess. Like,
I'd rather
Having a
not
struggle
say.
moment.
she's doing the thing.
You
Doing the
little
thing.
bitch.
What?
You little bitch.
Don't talk to me like that.
I can talk to you ever the fuck you
No,
want.
you can't talk to me like
We're
that.
stuck with each other.
I'm a
God
person. I
damn
got
it.
like feelings.
Okay. I understand that, but I have feelings too, and you
Yeah,
like
and you
you
broke
get
that
on
boy's
me
heart.
for not.
You didn't think about me once.
Okay, but to be honest, that's like the only fucking person I've actually been respectful with it about, and haven't like thrown to the fucking curb. So I don't know what the fuck you want from me.
Well, I wanted you to treat the boy with like he was a human.
He is a person. Like I don't.
More or less, I wanted you to think of my feelings, but you never even asked.
You know, the speaking thing was still fairly new at the time, and it was kind of overwhelming, and emotions are things, and
Yeah, you got a lot of them.
I do
Ooh.
have a
So-
lot of them.
So at what
We
point
just
do
hear
need to be-
Verity's part of it too.
Yeah,
right?
no, but at what point do we need to be concerned about? Like,
Well, beyond that, Verity's speaking in shadow, so she's not even speaking in common.
oh,
She's just like
Yeah.
yelling at the floor.
we
And she's gonna turn to you guys. Just realizing, just like sorry.
The
Verity-
shadow
is there
thing-
something you want to talk about?
Monstrous shadow on the floor is doing this.
Oh. So that's
As you can see, Pedit has quite the personality now. So
Oh.
basically, really their own person. But like we're
man. It seemed like you two were pretty close when you left. What's going on? It's doing this now. It's doing double middles.
Pedit struggled being away.
It's
Oh,
struggling away.
from the
It's struggling
Citadel?
away with you because you wouldn't talk to me.
From our friend group.
Well, I missed you too.
This is really
Can
nice.
they hear? Can they hear me?
I like the
Can
Dominic
Perdue
guy.
hear?
I mean, not as much as his brother, but Dominic's a good guy. Tell him I
Pedit
said
thinks
hi.
you are a good guy.
I've always wanted to ask you this, but I never got a chance. Like, what happens if we like step on the shadow on accident? Is that like because I did it once in year 3 and I felt so bad. I stayed up all night. Does it hurt? Does it hurt them?
Well, Perdit is immaterial, so probably more emotionally than physically.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
still
well-
rude.
There's probably some things that like could be done to
Sure.
make them have a more physical presence, but
But not in general right now.
yeah, like just like
Okay.
kind of like
I mean, you
if
never told him
someone
that I
was
was real
standing
before
in
now,
front
so I
of you
don't
and
know why
like
he
blocking
wouldn't
the
have
sun
just
and then
stepped on
moved
me.
out of the way and then you got the sun on your eyes.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of like that's just like
Yeah.
seriously, why'd you have to do that?
Okay, well, it was an accident, Perdita, if you can hear. But so like, I mean, are you good? Or you seem kind of frustrated. Do you need to talk about it?
Well, it's just like it. All right, so like with you and Damien, like you were like in the like you were always together a lot of the time, except like
Uh-huh.
you could like do your own thing.
You can do your own thing.
Yeah.
We can't do
yeah.
our own thing. We're
You can
just
do whatever
kind
you
of
want.
always
Oh,
Yeah.
it's like a cohabitation thing, except it's like your body.
yes.
Kinda.
Like we are not our own person. We can't really be around without the other one, sort of
Huh.
thing.
I
That
think
seems
you'd
kind
appreciate
of
me more.
romantic.
I do appreciate you, Perdit.
Yeah, I can't sleep because you talk to me too much.
What did
Okay,
they
but I need to be able to sleep to function. But again, we could table that conversation.
What did they sound like? I've always wondered.
It's like an absence of sound and noise that for some reason makes sense.
But like, what did they sound like to you? Like in your head? Like, what is their? Did they have a voice? Like, what do they sound like?
The smartest person you know.
I don't get it.
Kind of neutral, but also sassy.
Oh, cool. Do they have an accent like you since it's your shadow?
No, they do
Damn.
not.
That's cool. Well,
I
it's good
talk.
to-
I like I listen to myself enough. I don't need to hear like myself in another form. Well, actually, they're not me. We're just.
I'm like the better you.
Say again.
I'm like the better you.
Well, it's a good thing we don't look alike.
I know. I am so much better looking.
Hey, at least I have some sense of style.
But you didn't. But like, what did you do for the past while? What did you do during the 6 months?
Wizard shit.
Yes, I do believe that is the technical terminology that your professor probably used, huh?
Yeah.
Definitely not, but
I
I
do-
don't think I've ever struck anyone as being quite conventional.
True. Well, it's good to see you guys.
Yeah, it's been way too long.
Really fucking missed you guys.
Apparently, your shadow did too. Oh, sorry, pretty.
Floor bestie.
Floby.
See, they're making nicknames up for you already. We can workshop that though.
You said I talk too much, so I'm gonna be quiet now.
Slightly out of thing. Physically, what does Borum look like now? Like, how are you about the same, or have you grown at all? Because last we saw, it was like you're 5 or something.
Last
something like that.
description, I suppose,
Yeah.
was when I was 5. I mean, has he grown? Yes, technically. Has he
Uh-huh.
grown to such a point? He's like 2'10",
Sure,
I believe.
Classic halfling kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So still quite. In some ways, I bet for most people, it almost seems like he's gotten shorter because the height difference, the height he gained versus what everyone else gained is like,
Sure.
he got
Didn't-
this much height, everyone else got this much, so
Didn't
he just
scale that
Yeah.
that equally.
no.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
yeah. Otherwise, he's, yeah.
Oh, Borum, how's your mom? I got a birthday card from her while I was on the thing. It was crazy. She like found the address of the village that I just happened to be at.
That reminded me,
Oh,
I
sh-
forgot to mention that there was a crate waiting for you in your unsworn quarters.
Oh, yes. I have decided that my big magical item that I'm going to get probably first, or yeah, get is going to be a bag of holding to hold all of my
Crates.
crates of food, so that I can actually carry them around as
By
because
necessity.
yeah, when we were traveling with the when I was apprenticing, it was a lot more difficult because we'd go from one place to the other and
Yeah,
whatnot, and but no, she's doing great.
that's good to hear.
Yeah, no, she's planting some daffodils and tending to the garden. She's growing some of her own carrots and tomatoes right now, and
Whoa.
yeah, so I'm getting some of those and in the boxes, but she makes sure to mark them so that I know that I need to eat them right away. Um,
Good. She's your mom's awesome. Uh and then what about you two? How are your folks?
Um,
Uh-oh.
I I have not spoken to Zintalia or anyone else from my village, so I'm
Oh
not
yeah,
too
I
sure.
wondered what happened to her. That was forever ago.
Zinvalia graduated 3 years ago, and is now probably finishing her apprenticeship in another village. She did not return to Alice and hers village. Her and Justin both graduated together, and
Forgot about.
Alice gets letters from her every so often, and they're engaged.
Oh, there you go.
So,
Okay.
Dude, Justin got married?
no.
That's crazy.
As we've discovered so many times on Friday nights, engaged, and then time, and then marriage. When
Oh
you
yeah,
get
I always
engaged,
forget.
it doesn't automatically mean you're married.
But like someone agreed to marry Justin. That's crazy.
He was
Rat
one
wedding
chat
arc.
of a,
Rat wedding arc.
rat folk.
Uh, uh
I'll
yeah,
remind
I
you
mean,
that Justin made all the other rat folk look like mouse folk.
I've always
Rat
wanted to.
Chad.
I've always wanted to visit your village, Alice. Sometime,
It's-
maybe.
It is a silly place.
I
That's
just
why I want to go.
I just worry I might tear into someone like I did Syndalia. So
I assume she's probably an outlier. Well, you talk about these whisker game things, and I never know what the fuck it is, but it seems awesome. Sounds so fun.
is she an outlier, Alice?
So yes, she is. I mean, she used to be very much engaged with the Whisker games, and now she was not so much. The Whisker games are, yes, I suppose they are. There is something fun about it, but it's also it's a bit of an addiction, perception. It's all very good, silly.
That doesn't sound like a game at all.
But it is very important for politics and social standing and